to the prayers. Yeah, it's also a practice of all the divine messengers and the prophets of God. If you look in the Bible, there's a nice example of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. Just before his departure, his ascension into the heavens, according to the Bible, he went and he washed himself in the Garden of Gethsemane. He was washing himself because we know cleanliness is next to godliness. Yeah? So the washing is a preparation to go and stand before God. In the Bible, according to the scriptures, it said he washed himself and then he fell prostrate on his forehead on the earth in the Garden of Gethsemane. So not even only the washing, but also the act of praying and prostration was also a practice of Jesus Christ.
In Muslims, clothing, for example, is tofia, is used to identify the religion. Clothing is also used to facilitate spiritual growth.
But these are not the criteria for religiousness or spirituality. It's all symbols, yeah. Even for women, even the clothes, modesty, modest dress for men, modest dress for women. Again, this is maintaining a high standard of moral decorum in the society, because it's not good for women to dress in a manner of incite lust on their part. Yeah, it creates a lot of disturbance. It breaks marriages. Yeah, it breaks up homes. Yeah. So again, in safeguarding one's dignity, one's modesty as a woman and man, Islam has enjoined specific clothes for women. And there's nothing wrong in being fashionable. Yeah, but women should not be used as a tool to maintain fashion. The fashion should be used to maintain the dignity of the woman.
A Muslim's entire focus is on the development of the spiritual self and devotion to Allah. In this regard, prayer is vital, performed 5 times a day. Prayers are said at dawn, midday, late afternoon, sunset and nightfall. Prayers therefore determine the rhythm of the entire day.
The first thing I do when I get up in the morning, I think about my prayers. During the day, I think about my prayers. In the evening, I think about my prayers. That in itself keeps me away from a lot of things. It's like a guidance in itself.
Prayers is one of the most important obligations, not only for Muslims, for every human being. There's the morning prayer, which is called the Fajr. Fajr means the dawn. So that's the first prayer that a Muslim performs. Usually lasts for about 2 minutes. So, you see, God has established a prayer as a means for us to show our sincere love for Him and attachment. So all the things that we seem to relish or love, sometimes in our obedience to God, we are tested by those things. So one of those things is sleep. Yeah, sleep is good and it's part of a natural part of human life and the cycle. So in the morning time, God is asking us just to abandon or forsake the sleep for 2 minutes just for His remembrance. The other prayers is also the afternoon. There's one around the afternoon time, midday. Again, all of these are because we tend to be so preoccupied in worldly matters. So this is our constant test to manifest again our obedience towards God. The evening prayers, which is after sunset, again. So if a person naturally, enjoying these prayers in the manner which he has been asked to, a person really wouldn't have much time to indulge in evil.
Many Muslims incorporate prayer into their lives so that they are constantly in contact with God.
I'm talking to you, and at the same time, I'm remembering God. I'm reciting different things that will keep me in a constant loop with the Creator, right? And zikr is remembrance. I say zikr ya Allah, zikr to God. And we see it. We see the Catholics, the nuns, we see them always have long rosaries in their hand, always, and it's the same idea in terms of remembrance. So it's a physical way of, I guess I don't understand the biological aspect of it in terms of how you coordinate with just zikkering and the mind whole thing, but I know it works, so I keep always doing it. You have to believe that the remembrance of God in your system is a healing for you. If you have that in your system constantly, it's a healing. When I'm driving, when I'm walking, before I go and sleep, I may be asking for forgiveness, astaghfirullah, I may be doing that, asking God to forgive me. So I fall asleep with the asking forgiveness. What best way to fall asleep?
But who is God? What is the Muslim perception of God?
Islam is no concept of God. Whatever human being conceptualize, He's not God. Whatever concept in your head, that's not God. He's above whatever we say, whatever we can imagine. Not even a prophet of God can understand the essence of God, because His attributes and His essence are the same. You understand? So we cannot understand its essence. Nobody can.
Like many biblical prophets, Muslims prostrate for prayer. They often use a prayer rug called a musalaj. They also use a shastika, a piece of dry earth or clay, in their prayer ritual.
It doesn't mean that we are worshipping the stone, but these are all metaphysical aspects of religion. In other words, when a person prostrates on the stone, you will... And then you remind yourself again that you'll be coming out of the earth for resurrection. There's a constant reminder of death in front of human beings. So this prostration on this clay, it makes us aware of our own mortality.
Another important aspect of Muslim life is fasting.
All of the prophets used to fast. Jesus Christ fasted. Moses fasted. According to the Bible, they fasted 40 days and 40 nights. So again, we can see that somewhere along the line, we see that the character, the behavior, and the action of a Muslim are in consonant with that of the previous prophets. Fasting has its own spiritual merits. It has its own physical, it has its own mental, it has its own psychological, it has its own social, it has its own biological merits. God has enjoined fasting on human beings that man may learn self-restraint. What it does is it makes a person learn to purify himself, control his desires. Because when a person is fasting, it's not just mere abstinence from eating and drinking. That's not what fasting is. This is just starving oneself. Fasting means that a person's limbs, his organs, his entire being should be under the total submission to God. These should be things that you listen to, the things that you look at. You cannot be fasting at home and watching all kind of garbage on TV. You cannot say you're fasting and listen to all this music and idle talk. You cannot be fasting and you're speaking ill and speaking backbiting and speaking vain talk. So fasting is a spiritual discipline, and what it does is it makes the person become a more spiritual person.
This reference to fasting reminds me that Christians also fast during the Lenten period. So what is the relationship between Christians and Muslims? Muslims respect and venerate Jesus Christ. They consider him to be one of God's greatest messengers to humankind. The Quran reaffirms his miraculous birth and his miraculous abilities. Furthermore, his mother Mary is regarded as one of the most pure and